Hey everyone, it's Saturday morning, January 10th, and welcome back to Capital Markets Quickie. I'm your host, Endrit Sella, here to break down yesterday's market action in just 2 minutes. Quick note before we dive in. Today's episode is brought to you by AMF Capital Asset Management Frankfurt. Learn more about our funds and strategies at amf-capital.de. All right, let's get started. U.S. stocks pushed to fresh all-time highs as investors digested the December jobs report and closed out a very busy week. The Standard & Poor's 500 climbed about 0.5%, setting a new record. The Dow Jones added roughly 0.7%, also finishing at an all-time high, while the Nasdaq jumped close to 0.9%. All three major indices ended the week solidly in the green. Now markets were mainly focused on two things yesterday. First, the December jobs numbers. Second, the possibility of a Supreme Court ruling on the legality of Trump's broad tariffs. On the labor side, the non-farm payrolls report showed the U.S. economy added 50,000 jobs in December. That was below expectations of around 70,000, and it strengthened the view that the Federal Reserve is likely to keep interest rates unchanged at its next meeting in less than 3 weeks. At the same time, the unemployment rate fell to 4.4%, down from 4.6% in November. That continues the theme we saw throughout last year, a labor market that's not hiring aggressively, but also not laying people off. Meanwhile, investors were watching closely for a decision from the Supreme Court on tariffs. No ruling came out yesterday, and the court signaled that its next opinion day is expected on Wednesday, January 14th. Geopolitically, attention also stayed on Venezuela. Trump said he canceled a second wave of attacks, pointing to cooperation around plans to rebuild the country's energy infrastructure. The White House also held talks with global oil companies about Venezuela's massive reserves. Back at home, Trump directed Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae to buy $200 billion in mortgage-backed securities, aiming to push mortgage rates lower and ease affordability pressures. Markets are still weighing the impact since details remain limited. All in all, a strong finish to the week, but with plenty still unresolved. All right, that wraps up today's Capital Markets Quickie. Join me again Monday morning for more market updates. See you then.